Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Yeah.
BBN Jack Frost, what's up? I had to clear my throat. This is why it was like black screens is. BBN Jack Frost, how's everybody doing today? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We got some hip hop stuff to talk about, y'all. Now, first thing I want to say is this. You know how I'm constantly coming on here? Like, I'm not arguing with nobody. If you try to come start any kind of weirdo shit with me, I'm just gonna have you talk to the police. This is why. This is why I think. Hold on. This is why when you have these weirdos trying to get into random bullshit with you on the internet, that you just have them go talk to the police. So for everybody that don't know, Big U had to turn himself in the other day. Not only Big U was picked up, but quite a few other individuals picked up, including Brick Baby. I'm going to talk about him first, by the way. But including Brick Baby and a couple of other guys that's part of, I guess, the Rolling 60s. And they're caught up in a RICO charge. So for everybody that don't know what a RICO charge is, it's basically organized crime. Like you have a group of people and y'all committing criminal activities and you're organized and you're doing all of these criminalities together in order for the furtherance of your organization. That's basically what a RICO is. So you don't need to know everyone's crimes or what everyone is doing. You're a part of a gang or a organization and you're working for the betterment or the furtherance of that organization committing your crimes, and that person over there is working for the furtherment of the organization committing their crimes. You saying, well, I didn't know what they was doing. It don't matter. I think that's the part people don't be getting. In any regard, Big U is blaming Wack 100. I don't know how y'all feel about that. We got a question up right now. It is, do you think, I hate when I just be doing them dead typos. Do you think, with two N's, Wack 100 got Big U arrested? So far, 7 people voted. 71% has said yes. 29% has said no. No one has opted out to just see the results. Everybody is actually answering. Shout out to you guys for doing all of the things. So I want to say something real quick. I want to talk about Brick Baby. But I want to say something about Big U first. I'm going to tell you about the charges that, that I know of that he's being charged with. And then I'm also going to say about the, something that Wack 100, was it Wack 100? Hold on. Something that Wack 100 said that, not Wack 100, somebody was on Wack 100's show and he said a thing. And I'm going to say what that is. Another reason why I'm not going to tell you, right, how to live your life. You got to decide that on your own. But I will tell you this unequivocally. I don't want to be a part of any crimes. 0 crimes. So I don't want to even know about the crimes that you're committing. And I don't want to be a part of whatever organization that you are a part of. I'm not trying to be in your gang. There's a dude that used to do social media with me. And one of the lies that he used to tell people is that I was trying to get in their gang. I don't want to be in nobody's gang, fam. RICOs exist. I don't understand how you guys don't get that. And I know y'all all fell for it. You're idiots. Yes, I'm talking to you. Or every idiot that fell for it. Now where are y'all platforms? Just saying. Where your platforms at now? So with that be, for everybody that don't know, we had some people that was trying to tear down my platform and force me to help build their platform after I already helped them get their platforms and everything monetized. That's another reason why I stay away from certain people in our community, because you can't help them. They don't want help. You understand? They just don't want you to be doing better than them. So once they figure out that they can't do what you're doing, they're going to try to destroy what you are doing instead of trying to get themselves to where they deserve to be at. Because it might not be where you're at, but it might be a hell of a lot better than where they're currently at. So with that being said, Big U is being accused of an unaliving. Apparently there was a rapper, last name Williams. I forget his first name, probably like Kenny Williams or something. Pardon me. And what had happened was Big U had allegedly, this is what happened. Big U had signed him, and then, well, whatever happened, he put him up in the studio to make some music. And so the dude goes up into the studio, and I guess he's upset at Big U for whatever the reason might be. And he goes up into the studio, and he basically makes a diss track against Big U. They hear the track. Next thing you know, they find the guy's body somewhere in freaking Las Vegas or some shit in the desert. That's all I know. They just said the desert. I don't know which desert. All right, it could be Saudi Arabia. You know what? It's not Saudi Arabia. They didn't put them on the plains. So bodies found in the desert. That's what Big U is being caught up for right now. Right? So that's the crime that I know about, that they've been speaking about. So Big U gets on his platform, his social media platform, his Instagram or whatever he was on, saying, yeah, I'm going to turn myself in, yada, yada, this and this and that. And he's like, I don't know what the issue is. He said, what? Is it the PPP loans? And I'm going to say something real quick. Whenever somebody, let's say I have an issue with someone and they do whatever they do and I don't like it and I got an issue with the thing, and then I come address them. And before I get the opportunity to address the thing, they start telling me about these other things that weren't no big deal that they think I'm actually upset about. Nah, fam, you know what you did. You know exactly what you did. Now, I'm not saying Big U did any of these things, just so we could be clear. But what I am saying is, I think it would have been smarter for him to just simply say, I don't even know what this is about. Shout out to Tiny. Shout out to Brandon Washington. Salute. I just think that would have been smarter for him. I don't know what this is about. I don't think it's a benefit of him to say, well, there's these other things that could have been crimes, but we got to sort it out. I don't think that helps you. And this is why your lawyer tells you don't say shit. This is why your lawyers say be quiet. Not because you can't say something that can help you, but because 9 times out of 10, the things that you say is going to point a finger at you, even if you're innocent. So I want to say something real quick. Wack 100 had a dude on his one of those, you know, the show that he does with No Jumper. And this wasn't this year. This was like a while back. And the dude said, check out what the dude said Big U did. I'm going to take dude at his word, by the way. I'm just going to take dude at his word. So dude said, Big U was faking like he was getting guns off the street or some shit. Right? So he'd get the guns, and then before he give the guns out to his own people, he'll write down the serial numbers. You do with that what you want. I'm going to say that again. The people y'all be thinking is snitching and telling on you be the niggas that ain't. It be the niggas that ain't. I keep explaining this, and I'm not saying Big U is a snitch. We're not doing that. But if he did do that, that's suspect behavior. Let's not act like it's not. I keep telling y'all this. The people snitching on you, it's not the ops half of the time. It's not that random guy that lives down the block trying to feed his family. It's not the loner that stays to himself and mind his business. You want to know who's snitching on you? Hold on. Shout out to that DJ Zero. You know who's snitching on you? The freaking people you doing the dirt with, fam. I got a cousin that has beat so many charges, including murder. He commits all of his crimes by himself. He had one guy that he used to commit crimes with. That guy died, so he commits all of his crimes by himself. He's beat, he shot 3 cops. He beat that. He shot some other people. He beat that. Then he killed some dude and went to jail for a short amount of time. I think he's back out. He's a complete menace. His level of dangerous. I'll just tell you one story real quick. And if you are listening to this, I'm not saying your name. And you know we good. But this is my job and I'm talking my shit. And you beat all of this stuff. So, after killing one dude, the only explanation I can give for the people that was around is like he had an orgasm. He loves killing people. These people exist in the world, y'all. They exist. You're not the toughest guy. You're not the toughest. You're not. Whoever's watching this. And also, he's Golden Gloves. And when I say that, I don't mean he didn't do Golden Gloves. His father used to be a boxer. And he raised all of the generation that grew up with his son to fight. And in his basement, I remember, obviously I was there was a boxing ring, and you had to get in the ring and fight. You had no choice. The weakest fighter out of all of them, I don't even want to say who it is because that's going to be disrespecting. I wasn't there to witness that. But all of them can fight. But the one who can fight the least also goes to jail constantly for killing people with knives because his handwork is nice. So I say all that to say this. You don't know who you dealing with out there. You really don't. Respect people. You don't know who's on their last straw. You don't. And might I also add, Homeboy is one of the most charismatic people I've ever met in my life. He can charm. I've seen him charm every single room I've ever seen him in. Just step in and command the stage. And everyone bends to his will because he's that charismatic. Complete monster. Complete monster. Complete monster. If he got it out for you, you should be scared. You know how some people got beef with you, or they mad at you, or they upset at you, and it's like, fuck that nigga. Nah. Is there more horrific things I can say? I'm just not going to. Let's go. Let's do roll call real quick. I'm just not going to. Because on the slight miscalculation or calculation that he sees this video, I don't want to talk about any crimes that the statutes of limitation ain't run out on. If you get my drift. And there's a lot of them. I can't even, I'm just gonna move on. Because y'all don't understand. That's why I keep trying to tell you why I'm never trying to beef with niggas. I know I'm not trying to beef with you. I'm just, hold on one second. I'm not trying to beef with none of you niggas. I'm from the 80s. I know killers. I'm not trying to beef with y'all. I'm not saying I know killers, they're going to kill you. I'm saying I know better than to create a situation with somebody that I don't know over something that's not important. That's what I'm saying. And that's what we got to get back to as a community. We have to get away from this trying to go viral. We have to get away from this, all of this BS. We got to get away from it immediately, because we're not. Copy, I got you. Give me 1 second. Because we're not advancing. Like, we can't advance as a community. Forget a society right now. As a community, wherever your local community is, we can't advance until we can work together. That's the difference between every single other hood and the hoods of our people. Every other race of people, no matter how they feel about each other, can work together for the prosperity of their community. We can't. And when people like me step up and say we have to do better, people try to kill me. People want me dead. People want to run me out of community. People want to do all of the evilest shit in the world to me just because I want better for them. It's bananas. I'm gonna call out Saloon drops, but I need for you to give me a minute and let me rock, and then I'll call them. We got Brandon Washington. He says, morning, Frost. Morning, BB and Fan Bam. Salute. We got DJ Zero. What up, Zero? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is going well with you. Wasn't you a green team member before? If you ever do decide to come back, we appreciate you. And if you don't decide to come back, we appreciate the comment and every view you have ever given us and every view that might come into the future. Audible, limited time, 99-cent subscription. Go check it out. Shout out to Neil Arthur. Shout out to your brother Ashar. Hope everything is going well with you and yours. I know that your platform is doing well. Shout out to that. Shout out to Neil Arthur. He says, morning Frost. His extortion levels was ridiculous. How your business supposed to survive giving him $20K a month for protection? left dude no choice but to work with the feds. Who he did that to, Neil Arthur? Put it in the chat. Come on, let's finish it. Put it into the chat. Let's be, come on, bring your conversation. For the people that actually want to talk to me and have real conversations, boom. For the fake news ass niggas that come in here and try to ask stupid questions, I'm going to get at you 100% of the time. But if you have real questions and you want to have real dialogue, please put it into the chat. But all you fake news ass niggas, I'm gonna have smoke for you 100% of the time. I know you just want to convince everybody else that they shouldn't comment because I'm whatever reasonable or whatever the case is while you're asking stupid ass questions. But the world is waking up. The world is waking up. I'm not going to stop being me, and I'm not going to stop with my energy. And the world is waking up. And the world is waking up in a manner which is literally parroting the shit that I've been saying since this platform started. Just saying. Neil Arthur says, yes, I did hear about extortion. I heard he was like extorting Shaq. Remember, these are the dudes that when you come to their part of the America, you have to pay them money in order to be able to do business. There's going to be more people going down, fam. There's just going to be more. Because what these guys don't understand is when you work for the police, they are also keeping an eye on you. They will allow for you to commit crimes. You just can't kill nobody. For the most part. Unless you got Diddy level security clearance, I guess. Unless you like on Diddy's level, you can't kill nobody. And there's just certain crimes you just can't commit. And if you do commit them, you can't commit them with all of the evidence pointing at you. Because then they can't get you out of it. There's niggas right now on every single block that sell drugs that work for the police. Y'all love these niggas. I promise you, you do. And it's not always niggas. It's dudes. Sometimes it's women. Every single neighborhood that sells illegal drugs has a snitch. When you figure this out and when you learn this, you'll move differently. Hopefully, you won't sell any more illegal drugs. But for the most part, you're going to move differently. And when I say that, the main drugs I'm talking about that we need to get up. First of all, I live in New York City. Weed is decriminalized. And I want them to do something about everybody smoking that shit outside. I want them to start designating areas in communities where you can go smoke. Because this everybody just smoking everywhere on the street, I don't like it. I just don't like it. I hate cigarette smoke so much that when I see people smoking cigarettes, sometimes I decide I'm just never going to talk to that person. I'm just keeping it a stack. Sometimes I see people smoking cigarettes, like besides just crossing the street because I don't want to be around cigarette smoke. Sometimes I just decide, you know what? I'm just never going to talk to that person. And it's not because I'm mad at that individual. It's because if you're my friend, now I have to stand there and fucking smell the smoke while you smoke. So if I never make friends with you, I never have to stand next to you while you smoke. So that's my logic. I want them to do something about this weed everywhere in the street. I don't like the fact that you smell it everywhere. It's not as bad as it was when they first legalized it, but I don't like that. And I do understand some people have to smoke outside. I 100% understand that. Some people have to smoke outside. It is what it is. I used to live in a hotel. I couldn't smoke in a hotel if I wanted, right? I would have had to go outside. So I get that. But we need areas where people could go where, you know, they can smoke and they don't have to be around children. They don't have to be around pregnant people. You know, I guess make an old folks home. I guess that's the best place. You know what? They should make all old folks homes as weed sanctuaries where you could go smoke. You know, somebody's going to go up in there and start selling weed to the old folks. Let me be quiet. Anyway, Neil Arthur, shout out to Neil Arthur. Yeah, I remember your name now. Allegedly a dude in LA from his area. He has a dispensary and was working with the feds. The feds ended up giving him the money to pay Big U building their case. Yep, that sounds like exactly what the feds do. They get you on the hook. And I'm not mad because I don't like extortion. I think if you get caught for extortion, I think that should ramp up. Like you should get extra years. I think extortion is one of those crimes that lead to so many other crimes that crime should be taken more seriously. People get extorted and kill their extorter, and then now they got to go to jail. You see why I say just call the police, man? What we got to realize is there's people that don't have no life. They don't have no aspirations. They don't have no nothing. They got zero everything. They don't, and when I don't mean like no money, no car, no house, I don't mean like that. I mean, they don't have no goal. They have no direction. They have no aspirations for what they want to do in their life. But they see that you have all of those things, and that makes them jealous and envious of you. So now they want to get into a random argument with you and fight you. Now they want to kill you. Just call the police, man. You don't have to deal with that. People gonna be like, yo, that nigga's a snitch. He's scared. No, nigga. You know how many people is in prison right now for beating a nigga senseless that deserved it? You know how many people is in prison right now for killing a nigga that deserved it? Think about that part. Some of y'all ain't never killed nothing, ain't never almost killed nothing, ain't never almost lost your freaking freedom. So you have no idea how that feels. You're just talking. You're just talking. Brandon Washington says, laugh out loud, smoking weed and then old folks home and talking bad stories with the senior citizens. Best time of the day. That's what I'm saying. That does sound like a good idea, right? And you know what? If they had an old folks home around here that allows you to smoke weed in it, we should go to the old folks home and spend some time with the old people. You know how many people don't have relatives to visit them no more? Or probably their relatives live in another state, or their relatives are just douchebags? Go bring some weed to an old folks home and sit outside and smoke with them fellas. I'm not telling you to do any of those things. This is all jokes. We're not advocating the use of any type of, even though it's decriminalized, we're not advocating the use of anything, just so we can be clear. Just please stop with the cigarettes. The level of dislike I have for cigarettes is just, you couldn't imagine how much I hate cigarettes. I fucking hate cigarettes. Absolutely hate cigarettes. I seen some lady buying cigarettes at the store the other day. All I could think about, just immediately, well, I wasn't attracted to her anyway, just so we could be clear, but she got uglier. She wasn't ugly. I'm making jokes. I'm making jokes. She wasn't uglier, but she became definitely less attractive. Like, why would you want to? I just want to say something real quick, and then we're going to get back to what we're talking about. So, why would you want the place where your babies are going to incubate to be full of weed, cigarettes, and alcohol? There are a ton of women out there that don't do any of those things. Or very little bit of them, which is also fine. You can just go find one of those instead of a female that needs to do those things all day, every day. And the same thing goes for women. Imagine that. You got your baby in an incubator. You pouring alcohol and blowing cigarette smoke and weed smoke into it in your baby's incubator. Shout out to women that's out here having birth and you know, that got to be tough and difficult. It got to be tough and difficult. And I do not envy you for it at all. I applaud you. Thank you for helping keeping civilization going. It has to be really tough and really difficult all of those months to have that human being inside of you, and you're walking around trying to keep it safe, and you're trying to put good stuff into your body, and you're worried and you're concerned, and you know the birth, and like that got to be so much emotions, so much emotions. That's I don't like that they don't want to call women mothers no more. I don't like that. I just don't like the Democratic Party. All the things that they do is terrible. Let's do, I got a donation. I got a drop going. Let's call it. Shout out to Brandon Washingtons. I don't like the way they got the damn thing now because I want to show that I can't though. Because it shows everything. It shows like all of the people's information. Like, why do they do that? Anyway, shout out to Brandon Washington with the $5 drop. Brandon Washington pulls up into the saloon. It's a very, very special day. Today in the saloon, we have one of the most beautiful women ever to exist. She's standing up there on the stage. She's not singing. She's not dancing. She's modeling all of the most beautiful, finest wares from across all four corners of the planets. Glutes and boots. If you know, you know. Brandon Washington walks into the saloon. He's about the size. He's about 7'2". He weighs about 650 pounds. It's all muscus. When he walks into the saloon, he has to turn sideways, and his pecs still brush up against the doorway as his back brushes up against this side. He steps into the saloons. The bartender sees him. The bartender motions. The waiter comes out. He brings about a real, it looks like what do you call it? A bar stool, but it's refortified. It's made out of a special steel. Glutes and boots. I'll talk about that. I'll tell you about that later, probably. There's this chick that I'm really into. So I play a video game, and the video game that I play, it got the character that kind of looks like a. So on the game, I call females glutes and boots because they make all the females on the game wear boots, and every female on the game apparently has a nice ass. So I call the females of the game glutes and boots. But she is the original glutes and boots. Anyway, so that's what that's about, just so we could be clear. So Brandon Washington walks into the saloon. He orders himself up. He gets himself some pancakes, blueberry pancakes with a little bit of cranberries in them. He gets himself a tall cup of coffees, and he also gets himself a nice steak. The steak he has is stacked up like that because it's a steak, a steak, a steak, a steak, a steak, a steak, and a steak. And they're all about that thick. Brandon Washington takes one hand. He grabs the steaks, all of them at one time. He takes a bite. Then he grabs the other plate with all of the pancakes in it. He picks up all the pancakes. They like 13 pancakes stacked on top of each other. And he's eating the pancakes like this, and he's eating the steak like that. Shout out to Brandon Washington. And yes, we got glutes and boots on stage. Let's get back to the show. Saloon open. So I want to be clear about something. I don't want there to be, and she's really pretty. She had on some nice clothes yesterday. She had on earth tones. I think she had to go do something. I think she got a man though, so whatever. But I think she had on earth tones yesterday. So I've been thinking about earth tones ever since yesterday. I just been thinking about earth tones, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have enough earth tones. I need more browns and greens. Anyway, so I just want to say this. Get back to the concept, the conversation. So I want to say something, and I just want to be 100% clear. If Wack 100 wasn't doing what Wack 100 was doing, Big U would still be in jail. I don't believe that Wack 100 got Big U caught up. I do think the shit Brick Baby was doing got him caught up. Wack 100 has been screaming for years that Big U works for the police. And he's still a criminal. You don't think the police knew about whatever crimes he was doing? I promise you they did. I promise you they didn't only know about the crimes that he was committing, but in many cases, they probably helped him if it was a small crime with very little, they helped him. Because if what dude said is true, he's putting guns in the street and then writing down the serial numbers. Why would he be writing down the serial numbers? There's only one reason to write down the serial numbers. Now, I'm not saying he did that. I'm just saying that that's what dude said he did. There's only one reason to write down the serial numbers. Now, I don't think Wack got him caught up. But what I do think happened was there's going to be a lot of information that Wack had put out there that they are going to use after the fact. You get it? I don't think Wack was saying things that were actionable, even if he was trying. I don't think he was saying things that were actionable. I don't believe he was saying things at that point that can make them move. You understand? Like, he wasn't saying anything that was going to make the police move on a freaking informant. 9 times out of 10, the reason why he got locked up is because that dude got killed. And they're done with him. Because they're not going to keep you for fucking 40 years. He's been out of jail for 21 years. They're not going to keep you for 40 years, fam. They're not going to... When do they let people die with a good name that don't have a good name? That are black? I'm going to tell you something. I think they thought Bill Cosby was going to die. When they went after Bill Cosby, I think they thought that was going to kill him. The stress and everything was going to kill him. If Bill Cosby died, his name never gets cleared. They don't let you, and they still trying to slander the man. And I just want to be clear about something. The things that they accused Bill Cosby of, and I'm not saying that he's innocent, but you had one lady, a couple of those ladies never even met him, by the way. And they was like, we did things, and they never met him. So, whatever. But you had a couple of ladies that they were mad because they slept with him to get acting work. But when he sent them to the places to go get the jobs, they were terrible actors, so they didn't get hired. So to them, he cheated them. No, he didn't. You slept with him because you wanted an opportunity. You got your opportunity and you was trash. Why didn't you work harder? And don't tell me, but why she had to sleep with him to get an opportunity. She could have not slept with him and not got the opportunity. She's not a good actress. It's not like we talking about, let me name a really good actress. Michelle Yao. Yo, whatever you want to call her. Yeoh. It's not like she's her. But she can actually act. And then you say, I'm not going to give you the job unless you sleep with me. That's totally different than I'm trying to get this job and you're like, well, you can't act. You're shit. And like, well, I'll do anything. I could get you an audition. Fine. Then we do stuff. You get the audition. You're no good. That's not Bill Cosby's fault. But with that being said, I don't think he should have did that anyway. That goes against my belief system. Just so we can be clear. That go against what I believe. That go against what I stand for. I would just never do that. Like I wouldn't. Like, I thought that was weird. That I'm not cool with that. But if two adults agree on a thing, it don't matter what I say. They agreed on that thing. I think they thought Bill Cosby was gonna die, or they was hoping he was gonna die. He was gonna not get his name cleared. But what happened? He lived. Cleared his name. I better get away from these freaking Democrats, man. These guys are destructive. These guys are destructive. Hold on, let me say something real quick and we get right back to Big U. The left party is about to be labeled terrorists. Mark my words. Within the next 2 years, there's going to be a part of the left party that's going to be labeled as domestic terrorists within 2 years. There's a political reason why this is going to happen. And there's just a logistical reason why this has to happen. They're going to be labeled as terrorists, domestic terrorists, I promise you. Watch. How often am I wrong about these things, man? They're going to give the government no choice. They think terrorism is protesting. They think terrorism is protesting. Just also, every single Tesla has a camera on it. So every last one of you attacking these Teslas are going to get caught. And just so you can understand how the law works, every last one of you setting fire to Teslas, you might as well just forget the next 20 years of your life. People are like, yo, Frost don't know what he's talking about. What the fuck is Frost talking about? That nigga crazy. Hold on, let me show you something. Why is this up? Oh, okay, I know why. All right, so hold on, check this out. These people are ruining their lives. They don't think they're going to get caught, but the freaking vehicles that they're torching has cameras that come on once somebody gets close to it. I'm not sure if they come on once somebody gets close to it or if it's just on indefinitely. But every single person that attacks a Tesla, you are being recorded. Every last one of you idiots. The Democratic Party very soon, because they're not going to stop doing this stupid shit. The Democratic Party very soon is going to be labeled as domestic terrorists. They're calling for the death of our president, and they also calling for the death of people in his cabinet. How much longer do you think this is going to go? How much longer? And might I add you, before everybody start going bananas, these guys are the minority. And the majority of these people who are the minority that's doing these things, and I'm not talking about the people burning the Teslas, because those seem to be all Americans. I'm talking about the people fueling all of this hate ain't even from America. They're literally flying people in from other countries to protest here. That's why Trump said he's going to take people's visas. That's one of the reasons. There's going to be schools that their freaking attendance, or how many students are in there in any given year, any given semester, is going to drop exponentially by like 10,000 people, 5,000 people, or better yet, 10% of the freaking school, 45% of the school. Shit like that is about to happen. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. And I want them to send every last one of them individuals that's out here yelling death to anyone, and they're not American. Please send them back to their own country and mark it so they can't come back to America for 10 years, 10 plus years. That type of time. Every last one of them. What y'all fail to realize is many of these people that's busy trying to tell y'all what America should be ain't even American. They not from here, fam. I'm going to give you a good example. You got the people that's protesting, saying down with Israel, Hamas protesters, right? They're pro-Hamas, right? And this is not me saying pro or anti anything. I'm just explaining something. So they're pro-Hamas, right? Now, when you go to these rallies in New York City, what percentage of those do you think are actual American citizens? What percentage? Some idiot is going to probably be like, probably like 90%. I promise you, it's somewhere like probably 10, 15 at most % of the people are actual American citizens that are there to protest. All of the rest, they're not American citizens. Trump just bombed. We'll get back to the big U thing in a minute. I just want to talk about this. Trump just bombed Iran, Yemeni, the Yemeni people. Why am I saying it like that? It's Yemeni people, but how do you say the name of the damn country? Hold on. Yemen. Sheesh. So Trump just bombed Yemen because that's where he's saying the terrorists are that are working for Iran. Right? That's where he bombed, right? Hold on. Let's just get the damn thing. I want to make sure I'm accurate, because sometimes I'll be like, am I right? Yemen. Right? Trump vows to hold Iran responsible for Houthi attacks. So pay attention. They know where the attack is coming from, and they know that the people that's actually doing the attacks isn't the person that's ordering the attacks. So they said that they were going to go after the people ordering the attacks if there's any more bullshit. That's about to come to America. I hear people saying, so why haven't nobody got locked up and arrested yet? Because they getting their ducks in a row. That's it. That's all. They're getting their ducks in a row. They're going to line them up, and then it's going to be freaking, it's going to be pinata season. I just really can't stand what is happening to the country. And I know a lot of people don't mind. But I live here. And I'm fortunate enough to have an incredible memory. So I remember different eras of America clearly, very vividly. So yesterday, I had said something about, I think the most beautiful women on the planet, are, generally speaking, not they have the number one most beautiful person, but generally speaking, black women, American black women, are the most beautiful women on the planet, in my opinion. Right? The girl I'm in love with is the girl, the female that she's not black, by the way. Anyway, so in the 80s and in the 70s, go back and look at pictures of those women. I think that black beauty was just at an all-time high. I think it was just at an all-time high. The way, I don't know how we look to women, but the way black women looked back then, there might not be many black women alive right now that could compete with the women from the 70s and 80s or for pure beauty. These women didn't even walk around with makeup. That's the part I don't think people get. They didn't walk around with makeup. And I'm not saying if you have makeup, it's a bad thing. Just so we can be clear. I understand the reasoning for it. I tend to like females that look prettier without makeup. I tend to like females that when they put makeup on, more times than not, it's a downgrade. Sometimes it's an upgrade, but more times than not, it's a downgrade. Like, these women are beautiful. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I tend to be attracted to. The black women in the 70s and 80s, I'd put up against any women in any decade of any generation of any iteration of the planet Earth, of any demographic. 70s, 80s black women was a different type of beautiful. It was just different. The crack epidemic really hurt us. Really hurt us. It was just a different type of beauty. And I think that's probably why men that were alive, like from my era, we just have a certain, our respect for women is just different. Because it's so much different when a woman knows her feminine power rather than when she's trying to be masculine and unattractive. Because masculine women are unattractive. I know they don't know it, but y'all unattractive. Y'all masculine women are unattractive. And I'm not saying masculine looking, but yeah, that's unattractive to me. But there's men that like masculine looking women. I'm talking about masculine acting women. Women that got masculine personalities. That shit is so unattractive. It might not be unattractive to other men. But me being a man that I grew up around some of the most beautiful women that probably ever existed, lived in the 70s and 80s. And they were so feminine and powerful. Could walk into a room and just start talking and everybody be quiet because we got to listen to what's being said. And it wasn't a yell. It wasn't a shout. It wasn't a listen to me now thing. She just walked in with that feminine energy, and it was just overpowering. That part. That's another reason why I don't like the Democrats, because they always trying to convince women to be masculine and convince men to be feminine. Like, what's wrong with men being masculine and women being feminine? I really need to know. I really need to know why the Democrats think that men are supposed to be feminine and women are supposed to be masculine. I don't get it. Anyway, let's get back to Big U. Somebody said Big U was also supposed to be extorting Shaq. And then I seen a comment somewhere where people was like, you can't extort Shaq. Shaq's a sheriff. Shaq this, Shaq that. Shaq has so much money, he probably don't even see it as extortion. So I'm not saying Shaq wasn't giving him money. Shaq was probably giving him all of the monies. But Shaq has so much money, I don't think Shaq sees it as extortion. Some of y'all don't have friends that's really well off, right? And sometimes when your friend is really well off, they just spend money with you, fam. And this is coming from somebody who, when I was really well off, I just spent money with my friends. Like, literally. Let's just keep it going in a circle. But that's the way it should work. I want to say something real quick. So I heard Coach having a conversation with somebody yesterday, right? Shout out to Coach Knight. Shout out to Coach Wilson. I don't give him enough shout outs over here. I love Coach Wilson, love Coach Knight, love Miss Priscilla. These people are incredible individuals. Shout out to Miss Sue and her moms. They're also working there and doing things. So I hear Coach having a conversation with someone, and they're anti-segregation. And I want to know, why are black people anti-segregation? Y'all know when black people our businesses was doing the best is when segregation existed. You know, one of the main reasons why segregation went away is so we would spend our money at businesses that weren't our businesses. I'm going to explain this for everybody that don't get it. When we didn't have a large percentage in the national GDP, them excluding us from shit was cool. But once certain individuals and powers started seeing that we didn't spend our money with them, we spent our money with us, so that made us start getting rich, Black Wall Street, they wanted to get rid of segregation. Because they wanted your money, not because they wanted to give you rights. So Trump has did a thing where he's like got rid of the segregation law. He did a thing and where he got like rid of the segregation law, and Coach was trying to explain, first of all, we need to start spending more of our money with ourselves. Why is this something that you care about? Are you that? Why would you want to go spend your money in a business that don't want you in it? I'm like this. If you even give me any indication that you don't like me, I might not speak to you again. I do not go where I'm tolerated. I know Coach got to be so pissed off at me, because anytime anything happened, I'd be like, yo, Coach, you don't want me to come around here no more. I know you'd be so bad. That'd be so serious. I'd be dead serious. I love going there. Don't get it confused. I love it. But once you make me feel like I'm somebody you don't want to have around, I'm just gonna go find something else to do. A lot of people actually enjoy my company. I'm an asset. Now, I love being a part of what they're doing over there, and I need to stop. And they be making him so pissed. Like, you got to be seeing Coach be so pissed. I know he be just wanting to just strangle the shit out of me sometimes. I know he be so pissed. Because he be smiling, and then I say this shit. And I be serious. And he know I be serious. I don't know why I'm like this. I know I got to blow my nose. I do not know why I'm like this. I refuse to be somewhere where people do not want me. You don't want me there, I'm just not going to go. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not even going to talk to you about it a second time. Shout out to T-Mobile. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not even going to talk to you about it a second time. I'm not going to want you to be like, yeah, we don't want. I'm like, not a problem. I'm not going to talk to I'm probably never going to talk to you again, so it's going to be impossible to talk to you a second time. I be on one, fam. Yeah, you don't get it. I refuse to go where I'm being tolerated. I just refuse. I'm not doing it, and I don't care. People like, yo, we ran him out. No, I just don't see no need to be there. I don't see no need to be there. I'm going to go take my energy somewhere else. So, but shout out to Coach. I got to stop saying that to him. That's how I be feeling. I told Miss Priscilla one day, I said, I can't lie. Because I talk too much. And I say exactly what I think. I'm not making nothing up. When I think something, I say it. I wish I don't know why I'm like this. I promise you, I do not know why I'm like this. But when I think something, I say it. Like, I'm honest. I'm honest. I will tell you some shit you don't need to know. I'm honest. If something don't work out, it's not because I lied. It's just because it just didn't work out. I tried. I promise you. Honest. Over here and I'm laughing. Anyway, yeah, segregation not necessarily as bad as people think it is. As soon as the segregation, they got rid of the segregation thing, and now we started integrating amongst each other. That's when they were able to start incorporating our finances into their system. You get it? We was having it was basically two different Americas with two different economic situations and systems. And our economic situation and system was growing at an exponential rate because we was just only spending we could only spend money with our own people. It wasn't even by choice. The white people did not want us in their establishments. So therefore, we go work for them in many cases. They pay us for that work. And then we take that money that they paid us and go spend it in the black community because we can't spend it in the white community. So then what does that happen? That's basically us siphoning away money from the white community, putting it into the black community where it's going to stay. Because we can't spend money in their establishments. They won't allow us. So y'all need to learn a little bit more about history and how the economy actually works. They playing with y'all heart, fam. The Democrats is playing with y'all heart. Don't let them. They're playing with your heart, fam. That's one of the reasons why I'm single right now, like on some real shit, because I don't want to be played with in no capacity. I'd rather die alone. I don't want to be played with. I'd rather die alone. I don't want to be played with. I don't want to play with nobody. I'd rather die alone. I can go do God's work, and I probably won't have nobody, but I won't have misery. That's for facts. I won't be in a relationship with somebody doing bullshit. That's a fact. So if I can't get into a relationship with somebody that I consider to be healthy, mentally healthy, and isn't gonna try to attack my psyche or try to create unnecessary issues and or problems in my life, if I can't find somebody like that, then I just die alone. I'm fine with it. It's literally not that big of a deal. I'd be much more upset to get into a relationship with somebody, love them, and then they're an asshole and just ruin our relationship. I'd be much more upset at that. But just a little bit more politics. I just want to mention something real quick. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about the Big U? But there's a couple of things I want to talk about the Big U Wack 100 situation. But I want to say something about politics real quick. Shit, did I forget my point? I got a question. Who are we freeing Palestine from? Anybody know? Because I'm not sure if we're freeing Palestine from the Israelis or we're freeing Palestine from Hamas. Who are we freeing Palestine from? Just curious about that. Jill Biden kept Joe Biden on that beach on purpose. So every time they did a fake signature, we all saw that he wasn't there. Get that for a moment. Also, the fake signature machine was an actual like robot hand. It wasn't a like thing, and it wasn't an auto thing with the it was literally a robot hand that picked up a pen and wrote with the pen. Them niggas is the most sneakiest, underhanded. So the only reason why we know that it was a robot pen with auto and everything is because somebody 9 times out of 10 snitched. Because if we are to believe Mike Johnson, when he spoke to President Biden and he was asking him why he signed some of these bills, he said, I never signed those bills. And he actually reversed one immediately. He said, I never signed that executive order. What are you talking about? And he immediately reversed at least one of them. Immediately. These people that's mad at Trump are the people that was running the government. They were the people that were the president. And I hope that it comes, if that is so, I hope it comes out, and I hope that there's I hope they're punishable offenses. Because that sounds like treason. And once again, if they find any of these people guilty for treason, I think that they should be public executions. Put it on pay-per-view if you want. I think the execution should be public. and firing squad. And firing squad. Not no easy death. You know how many, most likely millions globally, but here in the States, you know how many tens of thousands, quite possibly hundreds of thousands of people, probably higher, died because of policies that they had that are all terrible. All of their policies are terrible. I think they're purposely trying to destroy America. That's what I think is going on. I don't think it's by accident. I think they're purposely trying to destroy America. So they're taking people that don't know much and putting them in positions of power because they're easier to control. That's how come you get the AOCs of the world. That's how you get Bernie Sanders 1,000,000 years old, but he's still out there doing stuff. Him and Mitch McConnell, they need to just go away. They need to just go away. Freaking Mitch McConnell. They just had that guy tripping the other day. He was walking, he was just like tripping. Like literally tripping, just so we could be like falling tripping. Like he wasn't bugging out. Like, yo, you tripping, fam. No, he was walking and he tripped. These dudes can't even stand up, fam. I talk politics every day. I'm sorry about that. I know we're supposed to be talking about the Big U situation. Let's get back to talk. Because all I'm going to be talking about, like, this is the problem I have with talking about hip-hop and rap and street shit nowadays. Let me explain something to you. It seems like people only get the wrong message. It seems like our community only gets the wrong message. So I'll come up here and I'll be like, yo, look, we got to stop committing crimes. And don't allow for people to get you caught up into their BS. And really the only way to do that is when people come at you trying to destroy your life, just have them deal with the police. That's called emotional intelligence. But you know what people are going to say? Yo, you a snitch. You calling the cops. You a coward. I have no interest in going back and forth with anyone over anything. The fact you want to go back and forth with me is not my problem. That's not my issue to work out. It's your issue. You have a mental health problem, which causes for you to focus on me. So if I'm standing around you, you staring at me trying to figure out what I'm thinking and all this other bullshit. And in a negative way on top of that, because you have a mental health problem. These are mental health problems in our neighborhoods, fam. These people have mental health problems, man. We have to, until that shit leave our communities. Our communities are always gonna be poor, dirty, drug infested, forever. Until y'all stop thinking that you have to go back and forth with an idiot that don't care about his own life. These people don't care about their own life. Imagine saying you care about your own life, but you rather argue with a stranger on the internet than do something to help out the person who lives in your own household. You'd rather go out of your way to go fight a stranger than to go out of your way to help somebody you know. Just think about that for one moment. You would rather go out of your way to argue with a nigga online and then try to figure out how you gonna meet up with him to fight him than to spend your time trying to help you and your family get out of the hood. Or at least enjoy the hood while you're here. That's the problem. And those idiots is who everybody follows. You have somebody come along and be like, yo, we got to do better. We got to help each other out. We got to love one another. Yo, that nigga soft. Fuck that nigga. Let's get that nigga out of the neighborhood. Yo, somebody should kill him. This is how black people think about other black people that want good for them. So me being a black man, the worst thing I could do is want good for my black brother. Now, if I wanted to kill that man, if I wanted to harm that man, if I hated that man, there'd be a million niggas with my back. If I hated that sister, if I wanted to harm that sister, there'd be a million niggas that got my back. How we gonna do this? But if I want to help that brother, yo, you weak. That nigga a sucker. He lying. I donate very happily, by the way. So many hours. I donate so many of my hours to the community, to the church, to any positive thing I can. Anything positive that I can, I donate my time to. And I'm the most hated nigga in Coney Island. Just to think about that for one moment. Just think about that. Just think about that. Focus on that for one moment. And for anybody that's saying I'm faking, it's a lie. I was doing this type of work before I moved out here. Remember when I was organizing all the gang members to go do shit in the community? Everybody forget about that. I was encouraging gang members to do good things in our community. And they was actually going out and doing a couple of good things in our community. Anybody remember that? Because I remember that. Petridge Farm remembers. It's something to think about. It's something to think about. So we gotta do something better in our neighborhoods. Remember, Big U was supposed to be helping his neighborhood out, and then look what he was doing, allegedly. But the hood is gonna follow somebody who been to jail, murdered niggas, sold dope, did all of the worst things in the world. The hood will follow that person without thinking about it. But the person that's been dedicating their life to helping others, that person don't get no love. None. In order to get love, that person got to go to white people. I'm just being honest. You gotta go outside of the. You gotta go outside of the culture. You gotta go to other people's culture. You don't even have a choice. And that's sad. And I wish that changes. I don't see it changing, but I wish it changes. You know, it is what it is. If I have it my way, I'm gonna end up marrying a Puerto Rican girl, just so we could be clear. God willing. I think it is God's will. And I'm going to continue to do work in the community or whatever the case is as best as I can. But I'm just being honest with you. Other than the Coney Island Sharks, I really think in order for me to continue to be able to do God's work, I'm going to have to start directing my energy towards other communities other than the black community. I'm just being honest with you. I like helping people. It's just something that's in my heart. It's just, that's what it is. It's just something that's in my heart, and that's what it is. And so, in order for me to help people, I'm just, it is what it is. God says that he sent Jesus here for the lost sheep. He didn't say that he sent Jesus here for this demographic of people only or that. The only thing that is the only is lost sheep. And that could be any person. Just think about that for a moment. It could be any person. So I'm pretty much, God willing, and I think it is God's will, I'm going to end up marrying a Puerto Rican girl. I hope it's God's will. Because I know his will definitely ain't for me to be with a black woman, and I know that to be a fact. I don't know. I can't know God's will, but I feel like that's a fact. They just treat me bad, man. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. Anything else y'all want to talk about? I'm probably going to get off the live early today. I started a little early. I think. Did I start early? I don't know. We had one. I've been going long a lot, so we might get off early today. I need a little bit of time to do a couple of things before I go to the center today. So I can't have the show go to like 11:30 like we do some days. Cause I got a couple of things I got to do around the house and shit like that. Anything else y'all guys want to talk about? I don't know who's here. I see low numbers right now, so I'm assuming like 90% of the people in here, probably 99, 95 of the people in here is here for hate. So I'm assuming. Give me 1 second. I'm doing a thing. So there's a thing that I don't do. I never explain why I don't do it. But there's a thing that I mean, it's not that I don't do it, but I don't do it much anymore. And there's a reason. And it's basically because I'm always trying to stay on the right side of God. I'm always trying to stay on the right side of God. I know I fall short. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But I always try to stay on the right side of God. I've been trying to lean away from talking about the Bible as much as I generally do. There's a reason for that. And that's because I think that it's basically we're living in the last days. And I think at this point, if you don't have a want to be inside of the body of Christ, this ain't the time to be trying to go convince people of anything. This is the time for the people who've already that want to get closer. This is the time for us to start having dialogue and bringing in as many people as possible. But I think that we have to be careful. I think sometimes when we're trying to do good, we're not doing good. We're doing bad. And I have this particular perspective because it gets kind of frustrating when you talk to somebody about something and they did to you that was just fucked up and it was wrong, and then you finally have a conversation with them about it and you find out they thought they were doing the right thing because somebody else lied to them. So now you have whoever this asshole is causing you problems in your life for a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years because they were ill-informed. And then you think about the things that they did, and you're like, damn. Do they even know that they're supposed to be asking for forgiveness from God? They probably don't even know. I'm going to let y'all go because I do got some stuff that I got to do around here. I got a lot of stuff I'm supposed to be getting to around here, and I'm going to try to get to at least one of them today. I be procrastinating too much. I be really procrastinating. Procrastinate a lot. Like I told you, I'm usually just running on E. So it's not really procrastination as much as I'm just exhausted, like mentally. When you're mentally exhausted, sometimes you're also physically exhausted, even though you're really not tired, but you're tired, It's your spirit, But I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to get to some of the things that we got to do. And I might try to stream some gaming today, because I got to start streaming gaming every day, but I haven't been. Also, I want to say shout out to Daisy. She's a friend of mine that used to hang out with all the time. One of the few people that I actually used to let come into my house. So when I lived in the Bronx, I didn't allow people in my home. I'm not a big letting people come into my house type of nigga. I understand how spirits work. And so, anyway. So I'm not real big on letting people come into my house. And sometimes, I just need to like straighten up a little. So like one time Aiden came by, but I needed to straighten up. So I was like, just help me to the porch and shit. Shout out to Aiden. He's a young kid over at the center. He's gonna be an extraordinary adult. He's gonna be an extraordinary man. I personally think he's gonna be an extraordinary man when he grows into himself. So shout out to Daisy, because that used to be my movie buddy. You know what I'm saying? So we used to watch movies all the time together. And I kind of miss that. I don't know if I miss her or I miss having somebody to watch movies with and bullshit. Probably probably a little bit of both. She was funny. She was fun. She was good people. With that being said, I hope she's somewhere doing well, by the way. She's gay also, so just so we can be clear, she's gay. She's not I don't know if she's into dudes. She might have been bi. Like, what the fuck do I know? I never hit it though. Spitefully, I never hit it, by the way, just so we could be clear. Because she was like, she said, you know, she's not into dudes. So when she told me that, I just never even thought about it, to be honest. Like, I tried a couple of times, but then once I was like, you know what? She really ain't into dudes. That was just it. Like, nah. Like, you couldn't give it to me now. Like, you couldn't give it to me. But we are really good friends. And I like having you as a friend. And you're fun. And I think we should hang out. What are you doing? I'm not doing nothing today. Come over. Watch some movies. Anyway, everybody have a blessed day. Go out there in the world. Do something worth doing. It might be the movie thing. Me and my stepmother used to watch movies on the TV all the time. We used to watch House, All My Children. What's another one of our shows? Monk, Law and Order. Like, these was our shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, even after I moved out, you know what I'm saying? I just go by, spend a couple of hours with her. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Farmers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. That's all I got on this one.